Hey guys, Jan here, codingwithjan.com. So this year I haven't released that many videos on this channel, and the truth is I didn't feel I had that much new to say. But now I have, because instead I've been doing things, and this is gonna be my personal update. So we're still rocking with free mode, but this year I've also been working on 2 new projects. I've taken some time to learn to ski. I became decent at playing StarCraft 2. I've been traveling to Canada and Paris to attend 2 awesome Shopify events. And recently, I've also been spending a lot more time in nature and with family as well, as a few other topics I would like to touch on. So I guess I'll just leave timestamps in the video description, or we can also just hang out. And either way, it's good to see you. Okay, so then the first topic is going to be work motivation, because this has drastically changed for me in the last year or so. When I was starting out on this path of self-employment, in the beginning, my biggest motivators were actually anger and frustrations, I would say. So back then, I didn't like the career path I was on. I didn't want to be in factories all the time. I was watching all these people on YouTube traveling. I was reading the 4-hour work week. I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. I felt a little cheated by the system. So I was every cliche you could possibly imagine. And like for many of us, my biggest goals at the time became achieving financial independence and being able to work remotely. My plan was never to not work at all, but I wanted to do it on my own terms, or rather be in control. And by last year, I felt I had accomplished these 2 goals. It's not that I could retire at this point, not at all, but I also wouldn't have to work for the next several years. Or last year, I was also traveling a lot. I was spending 120 days working remotely from different countries. But then I also decided to take a break from that and rather be close to friends and family and stay at home. So at that point, I really had to ask myself, what even motivates me at this point? Because all the anger and frustrations were now gone. And I know to some people that might sound crazy, but I still believe having purpose is important. And this is really when it switched for me, because now more than ever, I find a ton of joy in teaching, and if I can help others on their career path. That's also why I'm still doing the Q&A calls now at Bootcamp myself. I'm still actively working in support. I try to reply to all kinds of messages I get. And I try to go at it with the mentality of, if I don't do it, maybe no one is. So I kind of see it as my responsibility. And I came to realize that I draw a lot of purpose when other people count on me. And the last thing I would want to do is disappoint them. Okay, so then off to the first project I've been working on, our new app. Check out Upsell Pro, which is an app we've been working on for the last 6 months or so on the side. It's actually funny because this is my 3rd attempt building the app. I always had to pause the project for one or the other reason. But this time I partnered up with a friend of mine. His name is Robin, and he runs an app development agency here in Germany. So we've been working on this during evenings and weekends. And this is by far the most complex project that I've been working on. And now the app is finally in testing. So we're still unlisted, but we're already working with the first test clients. And the app seems to run stable for a few days now. We've already generated over 2,000 in revenue for this client. And this is awesome because we are only using a super small subset of the features that we have in the pipeline. We're rolling them out gradually. And Robin is such a better programmer than I am, honestly. He has been coding for like 12 years. On this project, I was also learning a ton of new stuff myself. So besides being a potentially successful project, it was also a ton of fun. And I can't wait to get the first solid case studies, get the first stable release, so that I can combine the skills that I've learned over the last years in terms of, let's say, marketing and distribution with this new app and with the new case studies. I will keep you posted on progress. Now, the second project I've been working on is also one I'm extremely passionate about. This is going to be a new training to master the JavaScript side of Shopify theme development. And this is for people who are already familiar with the basics, say know the basics of HTML, the basics of CSS, the basics of Shopify, but still struggle with more advanced customizations. And in this training, we only focus on the things you really need as a Shopify developer. We're building feature after feature. So we're covering topics like understanding the global JS files, building your own custom elements, working with third-party APIs, and much, much more. And I truly say this as humble as I can, but this training is my masterpiece. I've included everything I've learned over the last years, like from working with 3,000 students in our bootcamp, everything I've seen in the freelancing space or agency space. I've included interview questions that agency owners hand out when they hire new developers. And yeah, this kind of circles back to what I said earlier about purpose and work motivation. Because honestly, I don't know if anyone else could have built this training in the same way. Not because I'm such a good developer or anything, but I get the insights from all different parties and all different angles. Like I see the freelancing space, I see the agency space, I read your YouTube comments. I've been working with 3,000 students and I know what people struggle with. I've been practicing teaching so much over the last years and yeah, breaking things down in an easy to understand way. And I also truly care about the people I work with. That's actually a huge belief I have around teaching, is that no one cares how much you know unless they know how much you care. And you can ask this anyone I've worked with over the last years. At home in my office, I even have a picture printed out of the people or the first few people who ever joined one of my trainings and had enough trust in me. And this is actually the first time I tell this. I hope they don't find it creepy or anything. But yeah, point being is I truly care about the people I work with and it means so much to me. And yeah, just to clarify, free mode is for people who are just starting out, who want to learn programming and then maybe get their first jobs as freelancers or maybe their first full-time job as a developer. So that's still an awesome choice. And then JavaScript Mastery is for people who already come in with experience, but want to get to the next level or reach a higher position or maybe qualify for better paying jobs, or also agency owners who just want to train their junior developers. And if you're unsure which one would be right for you, just hit me up and then I can help you and clarify all the questions. All right, then off to Shopify events. The first one we attended was the White event in Paris, organized by Matt D'Souza. This one was for app developers and all sorts of technical partners. And I went with Robin, so we stayed 2 days, which was awesome because we also got some work done on the app and then attended the event itself. And it was awesome to meet all the people in person, like Coralie, who some of you might know, or Matt himself. And I gotta say, I have huge, mad respect for pulling this off and taking the risk to organize everything, find sponsors, sell the tickets. So dope, someone is taking initiative and organizing these community events. Now, the other event was even crazier. This was Shopify Editions in Toronto this year. And it was crazy because Shopify was also celebrating their 20th anniversary. And they were flying out all Shopify employees, flying out over 5,000 people, booked hotels for them for the entire week. And then Shopify Editions was 1 day of that week and external partners were invited to get a ticket. And the event was so awesome. They had a big main stage where they announced new technical features and what's on the roadmap. You could talk to different departments, for example, checkout extensibility, POS, every department had their own booth pretty much. And it was also so awesome to meet some of you guys in person or other people I had been chatting with for many years and then meeting them in person for the very first time, or other external partners like Taylor Page, who's also a mentor in free mode, or Charlie, the CEO of StoreTasker, or Björn Forsberg, who I already had a talk with on stage during Shopify Unite in London back then, or even Toby Lütke himself. Yeah, he was just casually walking around and you could approach him, ask him questions. He was also getting user feedback. He was asking how painful is it to work with the platform, etc. So super humble guy, such a good time, such a good vibe. And it makes a huge difference to sometimes connect with people in person. Then after the Editions event, there was also a huge after party at the Shopify office. Super nice office in downtown Toronto. Probably the coolest office I've ever seen in my life. And they also didn't save on anything. They had the robot dog from Boston Dynamics. They had 5 chemistrists mixing cocktails, a piano guy on the rooftop. Yeah, honestly, it was just too perfect. Okay, then lastly, private life. So when I'm at home, I'm actually working most of the time. I actually have pretty dialed in routines. So lately, I've been working every day, either in the office or in the studio, recording new videos for the JavaScript training. I try to balance it out with sports. So I'm still practicing kickboxing, both in the university sports club and the police sports club. I was also surprised to find out that you can join those as external. And they are also very cheap. So I pay around 40 bucks a month and you can do combat sports 6 times a week or even more than that. Of course, I'm not doing 6 times, I'm doing like 2, maximum 3, but it's still awesome. I also had a few highlights this year. So learning to ski was definitely one of them. At first I was practicing at some beginner hills near me, but then it was time to hit the mountains in Switzerland. And that was awesome because Robin also joined on that for a week and he's also way better at skiing than I am. Yeah, somehow Robin is better at everything. And yeah, we were always skiing in the morning and then working on the app during afternoons and evenings and got a lot of work done, but also a ton of fun. I also threw some parties at home and it turns out you can turn the studio into a super nice dance floor. One of my best friends got married. I spent a week in Spain with my family, did a camping trip in the Netherlands and was able to see the aurora for the very first time because we had these intense sun winds earlier this year. I think they were actually visible in many places. I visited the largest aquarium in Europe, which is in Portugal, and also the world's largest ice cave, which is surprisingly in Austria, so actually very close to me. And especially for the younger viewers, you might be surprised that all these things, maybe except the skiing, are actually quite affordable. Yeah, if you can lower your standards a little bit, maybe you don't have to stay in the fanciest apartment, but as long as you can work remotely and take action, which might be the hardest thing, you can do these things. So yeah, this has been my 2024 so far and we're still rocking. So if you get any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. And otherwise, I believe in you and wish you an awesome rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one.